What's up, you guys? My name is Rocky here from So Reviews. I'm uploading an impromptu video today about Crystal Pepsi. I'm a diehard Crystal Pepsi fan, and I want to see Crystal Pepsi released at least seasonally into stores every single year. So, a lot of Crystal Pepsi fans, you all know that it's been back on shelf since August 14th, 2017. They made that announcement at the very end of 2016, so the last quarter 2016, they made the announcement that Crystal Pepsi will be back on shelves August 14th of 2017. Mark your calendars. A lot of us diehard fans did. If you keep up with the LA Beast, you'll know that on his channel, the original Crystal Pepsi movement, it started somewhere around 4 years ago. It was in 2013 when he uploaded the original Crystal Pepsi video of him vomiting a 20-year-old Crystal Pepsi that he paid $80 for. Personally, I wouldn't attempt drinking a 20-year-old Crystal Pepsi. I wasn't even alive the first time that Crystal Pepsi was on the market. It was actually pulled from all shelves across the entire U.S. 6 years before I was born, actually. So, how am I a Crystal Pepsi fan, you might ask? Well, my parents, they were teenagers during the 90s. My parents were both born in 1980. So, with that being said, they were 12 and 13 around the time that Crystal Pepsi it was actually on the market. They did have experience with the beverage because 12, 13, between the ages of 11 and 25, I would say, consume more soda than probably any other age group combined, simply because that's the time of life you're a little bit more sedentary, and you just you don't watch what you eat as well, and you don't watch the things you intake as well when you're younger. So I heard unicorn stories about Crystal Pepsi from my parents. They told me all about it, told me about it being caffeine free, it being clear Pepsi, it having a cola taste, but that it just didn't taste as good as Pepsi, and that eventually they pulled it from the market. So that goes back to my story. First quarter of 1994, they had all Crystal Pepsi off of shelves. I imagine that it was probably lingering in stores for a little while, May, June 1994, but there were probably no supplies of Crystal Pepsi from the original Crystal Pepsi after mid 1994. Crystal Pepsi, for any true fan of Crystal Pepsi, is a lifestyle. If you've ever listened to the Crystal Pepsi song recorded by LA Beast, you'll understand that it's a lifestyle. It's something that people like the LA Beast and like myself beg Pepsi for, have called Pepsi hundreds of times for. 1-800-433-2652. It's a number you're not going to forget. I call Pepsi, at least once a week, sometimes multiple times a week, asking for the beverage to be kept in stores. So, with all of that being said, when I walked into the stores in 2016 and seen Crystal Pepsi, I almost freaked out. I never thought it was a product I would see in my lifetime because my parents told me about it being discontinued, 20 years earlier. It was pretty much known as one of the biggest marketing failures ever, and I'm a marketing student. I have taken lots of personal business and finance classes. Marketing speaks to me a lot. I'm definitely a person who knows a little something, if not a lot, about marketing. Now, Pepsi, their original marketing campaigns with Crystal Pepsi, they were over the top. They were silk screening entire city buses for Crystal Pepsi. They didn't go that far this time, obviously. Although they may have, in my local area, they didn't. It was one of those unicorn moments when I walked into my local Speedway and Crystal Pepsi was in the cooler last summer. Fast forward to now. This is the end of the summer. They announced Crystal Pepsi. It would be back in stores August 14th. I have purchased at least 50 since it's been back in stores. So, what is this video about? You have your Crystal Pepsi, Rocky. Why are you making a video? It says get your last taste of the 90s on the display, folks. They are considering this to be the last run of Crystal Pepsi. Die-hard fans like me, Pepsi, are you listening, Pepsi? We aren't going to let that happen. Guess what? We will call 1-800-433-2652 multiple times a week, and we will talk to whoever it is possible in order to keep that drink at least seasonally from August through November. That is when I want it in stores. If you agree with me, leave it down below in the comments. I think that the perfect time for Crystal Pepsi to hit shelves would be between mid-August and mid-November, and then it go right out before Thanksgiving. I think that it should have a best buy date that's good through the first of the next year, considering true Crystal Pepsi fans are going to want to buy a supply during that limited time that will last them at least 3 or 4 months. Personally, I keep 5 weeks worth of Crystal Pepsi on hand at all times. 5 weeks worth. You heard me correctly. Now, granted, that is at 1 Crystal Pepsi a day, which is hard for some true Crystal Pepsi fans. A true Crystal Pepsi fan also understands that it's something limited. It's something that's going to be hard to get. So you really better savor the flavor. LA Beast, he's definitely more famous than I'll probably ever be. So the LA Beast, he can buy as much Crystal Pepsi and that'll fill, multiple refrigerators, and he can drink as much as he wants, and I wish that I had it that way. He can fill the vintage 2-liter bottles and just chug that all at once if he wanted to. I, on the other hand, I don't have so much fan support. I don't have so much extra money. So any money that I am spending on Crystal Pepsi, you hear that, Pepsi, is coming out of my own pocket. I'm trying to find the best deals possible on these to get good pricing so that I'm not paying $1.79 each, which is the Pepsi suggested retail pricing. I have 35 Crystal Pepsis. That is 7, that's 5 stints worth of 7 days of Crystal Pepsi at 1 Crystal Pepsi a day. I'm going to try, folks, to only have one a day so that I can savor the flavor because it is good through November. So that's obviously, a good couple of months away. I need Crystal Pepsi to last. Crystal Pepsi is a lifestyle, people. You heard me correctly. It is not just another soda. It's a soda that just relieves you of all of the opacity. That's really what Crystal Pepsi does. People talk about the taste being weird, this and that and the other. People don't understand why people are so crazy about the drink. All of y'all, you're just haters. You want the drink to stay dead because it died, not even because it was bad. You're just that type of person that doesn't think anything deserves a dying chance in life. That's what I have to say to the people who don't want to see Crystal Pepsi stay on shelves. Die-hard fans, Crystal Pepsi, it should stay on shelves. So, with that being said, I have started a GoFundMe page. That's right, all of you fans who are true fans who are listening. I have started a GoFundMe page. I'll leave a link down below, and then it's also on my Twitter page. So, there's a link to my GoFundMe on my Twitter page. Right now, I'm only trying to raise $200. You heard me correctly, people. That is not a huge goal. That is a very small goal. If you Crystal Pepsi fans can help me raise $200, I am going to buy Crystal Pepsi and some Crystal Pepsi merchandise and I will be doing giveaways of Crystal Pepsi and Crystal Pepsi merchandise. Please support my GoFundMe page, and I will do another campaign in the future in order to keep Crystal Pepsi seasonally. Thank you.